Jae Kwon, and I'm working with Tendermint and Cosmos. So Cosmos is an internet of blockchains. It's about connecting many blockchains together to help with scaling and to solve the scaling problem as well as blockchain interoperability problem. So, for example, like Ethereum, with recently CryptoKitties, the transaction throughput was limited by the fact that there was only one blockchain. And CryptoKitties transactions were hogging up the Ethereum transaction log. What we need is a way to have many parallel blockchains that are coordinated by a system so that you can move your tokens from one blockchain to another and have many smart contracts and different platforms too, not just EVM-based ones, but Zcash-like systems or UTXO-based systems, all interoperating in an internet of blockchains. So that's Tendermint. We'll be launching a hub, the Cosmos hub, very soon. Sorry, that's Cosmos. And the blockchains and the Cosmos ecosystem initially will be largely run by the Tendermint consensus algorithm. So Tendermint is an earlier project that is coming to completion now. It started in 2014, and it started with the desire to have a better consensus algorithm than proof of work. So this is very contentious because a lot of people like proof of work. So Bitcoin and even Ethereum today is the consensus works by virtue of expending energy, spending that energy to produce hashes. But what we can do with classical Byzantine fault-tolerant algorithms like Tendermint is create a much more efficient and faster consensus system for all blockchains. So hopefully with the Cosmos Hub launch that's coming up and with our development toolkits that we've created, we'll see more and more blockchains being created and connected to the Cosmos Hub, and to kind of transform this cryptocurrency landscape so that public blockchains, private blockchains, consortium chains, all of those with different logic and different VMs can all interoperate with each other.
Could you talk a bit about how you got involved in the blockchain space and kind of when that aha moment was, or whenever you first started developing and first started getting really excited about this whole entire space?
Yeah, so I've always been interested in a couple things. Distributed systems ever since college, university. But in 2008, when the financial crisis happened, it really got me thinking about how did this come to be and how did the financial system evolve to be this way and how do we fix it? And I realized later on, actually in 2012, 2013 is when I realized that Bitcoin has an answer. It is a real plausible alternative financial system that is really secure, and that got me excited because it's a distributed system that is, it's nearly impossible to take down, and it got me thinking about all the possibilities. Like, imagine if we can have all these financial experiments, and imagine if local economies could have their own blockchain that has its own sovereign monetary policy and so on. And if we can all just make these interact and interoperate with each other, then it seems like it would catalyze a transformation of not just the financial system, but also the way we coordinate and govern ourselves. So I started, in 2013, I decided to go all into the blockchain or cryptocurrency space. Initially, I wanted to create an exchange to compete with Cryptsy. Remember Cryptsy from back then? Yeah. And worked for like 6 months to create a good crypto exchange platform. And I was about to launch it when I realized that classical Byzantine fault-tolerant algorithms, which had been in development since like the 70s, actually holds a solution to replacing proof of work. So I dropped all of that and just started working on Tendermint ever since 2014. That's how it started. And before that, I was interested in cryptography because of the Snowden revelations. So I was working on open source projects to help with like end-to-end encrypted communications. And so all of this, these three factors, interest in distributed systems and the desire to create better tools and better platforms for financial innovation, and the desire to, and the interest in cryptography just kind of led to Tendermint.
Cool. So at Polymath, we're obsessed with securities tokens. When I say securities token, what do you think of, and kind of how do you see the future of that part of the blockchain ecosystem playing out?
Yeah, good question. So the way I see securities, according to the Howey definition in the U.S., it's a token or some instrument that represents the ability or share of profits derived from the work of others. That's how I think of it anyways. And it makes sense to regulate this because somewhat, because if you're not careful, then people might lose their retirement savings by investing in the wrong thing. So in that sense, securities are more like a passive investment, potentially. So right now, the conversation is centered around the distinction between, say, securities tokens and utility tokens, but I think it's important to also consider a third type called like a reputational token. So Augur Rep was like such a token, and so is the staking token in the Cosmos hub. So the idea is that when you have these tokens, it gives you the ability to do work in the system, such as ensuring that the outcome of a futures prediction market, is correct, and that the correct people are rewarded. Or in the case of Cosmos, that the validators and those who hold the staking tokens are doing the work of securing the blockchain in a distributed way and participating in governance and improving the system. So in that sense, it's it might sound like a security token, but I think this reputational token is very different in that it requires work into the system. It's not like a passive investment, and I think of it more as a way to just distribute work and to share the proceeds of it. It's more like a general partners, a massive set of general partners than a GP-LP distinction.
What are some ways that you see securities tokens being helped by Cosmos?
So the software that we're building is all open source, and what we focus on is creating the best protocols and the best performant stack, so that you can build any application that you want. So if you look at the Cosmos SDK, which is our framework for creating blockchains, there's all these toolings in there and libraries and modules and the architecture such that it makes it very easy to create applications based on tokens. So anyone can take our framework and very easily create any kind of security application, an application that deals with security tokens. And in a sense, the whole stack is kind of agnostic to what are the tokens that it is passing around and storing, are security tokens or utility tokens or what have you. So because the Cosmos Hub is designed to accommodate scalability and also interoperability, anyone can take that software. Perhaps the way I see it, what current people interested in trading securities tokens in a regulated environment should probably be forking the Cosmos Hub and perhaps adding regulatory imbalances there and more or less using the same protocols that we're developing, like our Merkle tree for persistence, IBC for blockchain-to-blockchain communication, and using the tooling that we're and the frameworks that we've been developing. Of course, it's possible for you to also just create a blockchain. We call them zones. Create a blockchain based on any stack you want. It doesn't have to be the Cosmos SDK. And then you can connect that blockchain to the Cosmos Hub and transfer tokens over. Now, I don't know that if you're going to create a blockchain and administer that, then you'll be liable for introducing those tokens to the Cosmos Hub system. But there's so many ways that this can play out, so we'll just have to see.
Mm-hmm. What are you excited about at EDCon? Any talks you're specifically excited about? Any developments you're excited about learning about? What's going on at EDCon?
Yeah, actually, I'm really excited to catch Alexei's talk. He's giving a talk on Ethermint. So Ethermint used to be the Go Ethereum stack mashed up with Tendermint, where it's no longer using proof of work, but Tendermint consensus. We're going to refactor that, and we're doing the work of upgrading it to be based on top of the Cosmos SDK architecture. So it provides a much more modular and secure, from using object capabilities, a more secure and flexible framework for creating blockchains. And Alexi's going to talk about the work he's been doing on the KV storefront, so the persistence layer and optimizing that. And yeah, generally, a lot of people are interested in Ethermint because of the Ethereum scaling problem. They already have smart contracts written in Solidity, and so Ethermint's going to be a fantastic tool for that. Just because you can launch it, because it's based on the Cosmos SDK, it'll be very easy to plug it into the Cosmos Hub, right? So I'm looking forward to launching the Hub and seeing Ethereum scale.
And is there anything else you want to say to the viewers of this video? Anything else? Where to find you guys online? Anything at all?
Go to cosmos.network to learn more about what we're doing. We have a testnet up running with the newest staking with delegation. Actually, we don't have delegation just yet, but it is using staking logic that we've been developing to solve the proof of stake problem. So join the testnet and check out the Cosmos SDK. And if you really want to develop in JavaScript, you might also want to check out Judd Keppel's Lotion framework. And yeah, just check out our websites. And if you want to learn more about the consensus algorithm, go to tendermint.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, so we actually ended our interview. Jay left the room, and then he came back in and said, wait, I have to tell you guys one more thing. So, Jay, what did you have to tell us?
Yeah, so today, if you want to create a new legal entity with like equity and get like get that kind of organization started, it takes like a massive amount of legal work. You have to search for the right jurisdiction, and there's the amount of lawyer work that goes into setting up a company can be trivial if you know everything, right? And you already have the documents for some reason. But for most people, it's a huge barrier to entry to creating a new organization. And I think this is reasonable. It makes a lot of sense how it evolved this way, but I think the way this will change in the future is, imagine if you can have like a one-click and create an organization, and for whatever purpose you need, whether that be temporary or something more long-term, because a security token is a really nice instrument for sharing profits and anything at all, and it can be used for other purposes too, like for voting and so on. So I think the way this will evolve is the cryptocurrency and blockchain space is going to change the nature of securities, and it's going to change the nature of organizations to be much more fluid and something much more easy to create and even close down. So to be cheap to create organizational structures for whatever purpose, and because we're going to lower the cost associated with setting one up, and because it's going to be so easy to create, it'll probably change and transform the way we work in organizations and how these things are set up.
Awesome.
That's all. We'll see how it works. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.